I am Muhammad Jawad from Allama Iqbal Open University Television, Islamabad. As you know, we are here at the 2 days international conference of CESA, which is like an organization, and theme for this year's conference is equity and inclusiveness in education. We have been privileged that participants from all over the world, from different countries, are participating here at Islamabad. And at this moment, we are privileged to have Dr. Manzoor Ahmed, who is the Professor Emeritus from Bangladesh and a renowned educationist. And thank you very much, Professor, being with us at this international conference. And we are very happy to have you here, but it's been like sad feelings that you are departing so soon. First of all, just tell us about how you find Pakistan, this international conference with a very huge and important theme, and how was your first session lecture?
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm honored to be here at this international conference at Allama Iqbal Open University, which is a very well-established, famous open university. And the theme is something, as you mentioned, very critical, equity and inclusion in education, which is the challenge all over the world, but particularly in our part of the world, our South Asian region. All of the countries are facing this problem. We have been raising this question for a long time, and the national policies and objectives talk about these things, but we are not making enough progress in actually realizing this goal. So this is the topic for this conference. There will be many research papers and discussions will be held. The first session, the opening session, had a panel discussion with participants from Sri Lanka, India, Bangladesh, and Pakistan to talk about this, kind of setting the tone for the discussion. And what came out strongly is that there is the proclaimed objective or policy rhetoric about inclusion and equity, but this is not followed through effectively by the various actors in education, particularly the policy making people and the decision making. And here there is a gap between the proclaimed goals and objectives and the implementation process. And why is this so? And that is the basic question that we raised in the first session. And it seems that the political dynamics in each of our countries, where the real decisions are made and the conditions are created for the system to work effectively, that's where I think there are many issues and problems. Maybe not enough of a commitment in spite of the policy statement, and maybe there are conflicts of interest, different stakeholders, different groups. They all are not quite as committed to equity and inclusion and, learning opportunities for all the children. Maybe there are vested interest groups. Their own children are somehow taken care of. Those who are the decision makers at the center of the power structure, their own children are not at risk. The common children are. And so not enough attention to the needs of the majority of the children. And that is a common problem, I think, in many of the countries in our region. And recognize this first, and then what should be done about it. And here, the politicians themselves will not do it. They have to be pressured into doing it. So we need a kind of the stakeholders, the parents, the teachers, the students, and the concerned citizens. Can they come together and demand that you have the policies, but you are not implementing these? These have to be implemented, and the steps have to be taken, and the conditions have to be created. And so this has to be made a kind of political issue so that they are compelled to give more attention to this, and they should be held accountable for this. So if this kind of a coalition of the forces who want to have a transformation in education that will become more equitable and more inclusive could help change the dynamics, and maybe the policies and the objectives will be in a better situation to be implemented. So that's what we hope, that this conference will help in moving towards.
Very rightly, Dr. Manzoor Saab, you have mentioned the actual position. Earlier in your speech, you have mentioned about the Sri Lanka, the success of the Sri Lanka,
Yes.
that although we have challenges in Asia and in the less developed or underdeveloped countries, but there is a message, a ray of hope while we are talking about the education and the case of Sri Lanka. So would you just again tell us about what were the indicators, what are the options they have utilized for the promotion of education and overall development, although Sri Lanka has a very financial crunch and challenges?
Well, Sri Lanka has done better compared to the other countries in this region, and actually even during the colonial time, before independence, there was kind of attention to education for various reasons. The missionaries and the colonial government and some Sri Lankan education leaders, I think they gave more priority, higher priority to education, and tried to build a public system for all the children. And so that continued after Sri Lanka's independence. And they gave priority to education, and they tried to build a public system that reaches out to all the children. Nowadays, in other countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, maybe 40 or 50% of the children are not in the public system. They are outside because public system is not functioning very well. In Sri Lanka, still 90% of the children go to the public government schools, because there is a basic quality there, and they are spread all over the island, and they have tried to provide the resources and prepare the teachers and maintain quality and have an accountable management. So that is the difference. So there is a kind of political attention, commitment, priority, which has continued on a consistent basis. So that has made a difference. And we hope that we can see this kind of change in the other countries so that we can achieve the same kind of results. On this question of the political commitment and the political dynamics of education decision making, that we have talked about in the first session. There's a problem. We have prepared a book, two of my colleagues and I, about 3 years ago, called The Political Economy of Education in South Asia. And this was published by University of Toronto Press on this question. And now I think there is interest in this issue in the countries in this region. And so the Pakistan Book Foundation has published a Pakistan version of it this year. So this is there. And India also has, Indian publisher Sanctum has published an Indian version, and a Bangladesh version is also there. So this book is gaining some attention. So I think there is a bit greater interest on this political economy of education. That I think something that we need to pursue to make a change in our education systems.
Thank you very much, Dr. Manzoor from Bangladesh, Professor Emeritus. You have joined Allama Iqbal Open University in the 2 days International CESA conference. The theme was really unique, and your valuable input has created a significant impact. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. It's my honor to join you in this discussion, and I hope that this reaches the people who are concerned about education. Thank you very much.